Good day, everyone, especially to you, Sir Nancy Amogis. We are the Group 2, and we are going to report or discuss about abstraction. I am Fritz Maputol, and I am the first reporter of our group. What is abstraction? Abstraction in Java and Python is a programming methodology in which details of the programming codes are hidden away from the user, and only the essential things are displayed to the user. Abstraction is concerned with ideas rather than events. It's like a user running a program or web browser without seeing the background codes. Abstraction is achieved in either abstract classes or interface in Java and Python. NetBeans and Eclipse IDE implements abstraction for Java, while Django implements abstraction for Python. A programmer uses an integrated development environment or IDE to design a UI without worrying about how the IDE generates the HTML codes. In essence, abstraction displays the essential details for the user alone. So ang abstraction day is a programming methodology or a method in which the details of the programming codes are hidden away from the user. Ang abstraction kay iyaharang ipakita or i-display ang importanteng nga butang adto sa user. Ang abstraction kay concern siya kaysa sa events. Ang abstraction sad kay murag web browser nga giparan sa user nga walay makit-an nga mga background codes. Next is, the abstraction is one of the most important and essential features of object-oriented programming. Predefined functions are similar to data abstraction. It enables the user to implement more complex logic on top of the provided abstraction without understanding or even thinking about all the hidden complexity. So, ang abstraction di kay isa sa mga kinaimportantihan sa programming ug makahimo siya sa user sa pag-implement sa provided ka abstraction. Another is, abstraction is a fundamental principle in some types of computer science. It is a key design aspect of object-oriented programming languages and application programming interfaces. It's also one of the least understood ideas in programming, partially for semantic reasons. Ang abstraction is a primary principle in some types of computer science ug siya sad ang isa sa least understood nga ideya sa programming.
Abstraction is commonly defined as the extraction of relevant information from a larger data set. Utilizing abstraction allows engineers and others simplify a code base. Abstraction can be achieved in two ways. First, abstract classes uses abstract modifier. Second, interfaces uses implements keywords. Abstract class. It cannot be instituted to access it. You need to inherit from other class. Abstract methods can only be declared inside an abstract class. It is a method without a body and it needs to be already in the subclass of the subtract class.
As mentioned, abstraction hides certain details and only shows important informations, and it can be achieved in two ways. We have here our abstract class, which uses abstract modifier, and we have also the interfaces, which uses implements keyword. First, we will talk about the abstract class. So, abstract class, it cannot be instantiated. To access it, you need to inherit it from other class. We also have abstract methods, which can only be declared inside an abstract class. It is a method without a body, and it needs to be overridden in the subclass of the abstract class. Here our abstract class animal, which is our base class, and the subclasses we have our class dog, which extends to animal, and class cat, which also extend to animal. So as I mentioned, abstract method can only be instantiated inside the abstract class, and abstract method is a method without a body. So we have here our abstract method, which is abstract void make sound, which is only instantiated inside the abstract class animal. And it needs to be overridden in the subclass. So we have here our method with void makes sound, which produces an arf for the dog, and void makes sound, which produces a meow to the cat class. Next, we have our interfaces. So interfaces is a full abstract class that is implemented in other classes. Any method you declared would be an abstract method by default. You can use the default modifier to create a method with body. The method would be static. Any variable that you declare would be static and final. Implements keywords. So interfaces uses implements keyword, and implements keyword used after the class name so that we can implement an interface in the certain class. Implemented interfaces requires the class to override every method inside the interface. It can implement one or more interfaces in each class. So we have here our interface animal, which have a void make sound. We didn't put an abstract modifier because by default, all method declared inside the interface is considered as abstract. And since it is an abstract, the method doesn't have a body. And we also have here our subclasses, which is the dog and the cats. And instead of using extends keyword, we use the implements, which means the dog class must make sound for its class. Same with the cat class. So if we add another method, the subclasses must implement the methods. And that is the interfaces.
What are the benefits of abstracting? Abstraction refines concepts to their core values, stripping away ideas to the fundamentals of the abstract idea. It leaves the common details of an idea. Abstraction makes it easier to understand code because it concentrates on core features or actions and not on the small details. These are the data abstraction: private, name, string, id int, public, get name, set name, str, public, get id, set id, int. Level of abstraction: increasing levels of abstraction in programming paradigms: modeling languages, object-oriented languages, procedural languages, assembler languages, and machine code.
How abstraction work? In object-oriented programming, abstraction is one of three central principles, along with the encapsulation and inheritance. Through the process of abstraction, a programmer hides all but the relevant data about an object in order to reduce complexity and increase efficiency. In the same way that abstraction sometimes works in art, the object that remains is a representation of the original with the unwanted detail omitted. So, here is the example of abstraction in real world. First is making coffee with a coffee machine. You need to know how to use your coffee machine to make coffee. You need to provide water and coffee beans, switch it on, and select the kind of coffee you want to get. Second is the vehicle operations, ATM operations, driving a car, turning on the lights, riding in an elevator, and etc. So that would be all, and thank you for watching. God bless.